What I remember the most was that the doctor said, if the cancer comes back, it doesn't respond to treatment a second time. She just relapsed in April of 2017. His words always haunt me. There's no guarantee in life, but we just inch forward day by day. She's so positive. She's so loving and caring, and she writes notes around our house like blessed. She's blessed. The thing about Daisy is she lives for today. And she reminds me of those little things. I've noticed when things are hard, she says, I want to go home. And I always think, what does she know? I don't know. But she seems at a total peace with that. And I just want to scream at her, no, don't say I want to go home. When you're in this, it's such a whirlwind, you can't think of anything. But there with care, they just come to you and they don't ask for lists. They just do it, and it feels good.
I love being connected to the families that I deliver to, because I understand what they need and they tell me what they want and they know when I'm coming. Today we are bringing an activity bag. We gear those towards the age of the child. So nice for moms just to be able to grab if they have to go to an appointment. Sometimes we take a toiletry bag. It's one less thing they have to think about. When I show up at the house, and they know I've got all the groceries, you can tell how much they appreciate it, how it's touched their heart.
Our journey is lonely. It's a lonely journey. And somebody's coming over to see us. They bring bags for the girls, puzzles, games, crafts. To me, they're more than just people who deliver food. They have actually become like a friend of mine.
It's just so heartwarming, so gratifying to know that there's an organization like There With Care out there. I feel very honored to be part of that.
I noticed that she wasn't moving her right hand. And they assumed that her wrist was broken, and they put a cast on her for 10 days. And when the cast came off, she stopped walking. And that's when we got the MRI and found out that she had a brain tumor. The very next day we drove to Denver. The next Monday she had surgery. So they fully removed the tumor. And it was 6 hours of surgery. Going in, they didn't know if they could get it all or not. They didn't know what kind of cancer it was. Turns out it's pretty awful. I think about that first day and coming home and packing and leaving the next morning. It was devastating. And I really thought that would be the worst part, the surgery, and it's not. There With Care was the first paperwork we filled out with our social worker. As soon as that paperwork went through, that was just a blessing.
You know, I kind of know when the family's coming into town or when they're not, or what's going on with them, like when the child's got chemo and if they're feeling good, and being matched with someone, you know, makes you want to get to know them a little bit better. You know, I try to think about if they're spending a lot of time in the hospital, maybe a crock pot meal would be good. You know, that way they can pop it in the crock pot and they come back and, you know, the house smells good and, you know, they've got something quick to eat.
Having somebody grocery shop for us is, you know, the volunteers are so understanding. And it's not only the groceries, it's the diapers, it's the little things. So nice to have someone, just an understanding ear. They threw in some lipstick for me at one point, which just makes me smile. It's just a little thing, but.
You know, I delivered a care bag to Alice, and it had a couple of dress-up outfits, and her mom sent me a picture of her with her dress on, and it was so cute, and that connection just, you know, it warms your heart.
She gets to kind of see into this world. So nice to have someone who can come and talk for a bit.
It's got to be tough coming home at night, and then when your child's asleep, you're sitting there faced with all that, and I can imagine it would be so overwhelming.
Just be going through all of this and have somebody smiling at my door with supplies when you're just worried and exhausted and scared. It's just something great. That day was already filled with emotion. My 7-year-old nephew had just recently gone through a transplant for the same diagnosis. You know, lost his vision, lost his hearing, and so by the end, he was just kind of trapped in his own body. So we saw all of that, and 2 weeks after he passed, Cole was diagnosed. He was admitted the beginning of October 2016. We didn't know really what to expect. His transplant is a success, but he's got a secondary thing going on because of the transplant. Usually the doctors say it takes 1 round of treatment, which is 6 months, and we're well past 3. Any sickness that he gets can completely put us at square one again. I never knew that There With Care existed.
Being matched with a family, I feel, is so important because you get to know them. You know what they like, you know what they don't like, you know what they need. He loves to make his own chicken breasts, so I try to put frozen chicken all the time, and his favorites. I get to know what he wants. She's a single mom. She's full-time taking care of her son. It's impossible for her sometimes to get to the grocery store. It's impossible for her sometimes to maybe even fill up her car with gas. Every week that I deliver, I bring an Easy Meal Care bag, and this is filled with non-perishable items. Oftentimes they like to have this bag by the bedside. It's nice to be able just to have snacks handy right there. The first time I delivered, I just could tell by the look in Shannon's eyes. I could just see the relief. We instantly felt a connection the minute I walked up on her porch.
To see her smiling face, she's so sweet. They are there for me for whatever I need. You know, even just to send a little care package for Cole, for the hospital, puzzles or games. My older son had leukemia when he was 3. And I don't know if they existed then, but it was hard. I don't know where I'd be.
When I leave the family's house, my heart is just so full.
There With Care has been a blessing. They're there with care.